This presentation of the 2013 Detroit Autorama is brought to you by Pirelli. Power is nothing without control. And by Eaton Detroit Spring, made in the USA in Detroit. Down in the basement of the Cobo Center is a whole different culture of cars, people, and activities.
I'm Gene Winfield. I'm here at the Detroit Autorama 2013. I brought my custom shop with me. We're chopping a top and welding it back right here in the show. This car is a 39 Chevy, and I'm chopping it. I only chopped it 1.5 inches. So the customer wanted it very little. He wanted it to look very mild. You know, like people look at it and they say, well, is it chopped or isn't it chopped? I still use a lot of torch. I use the old school gas acetylene oxygen torch and do a lot of hammer welding. So that's kind of what I do. When I was young, my first car was a 28 Model A coupe. I didn't know what to do with it. You know, I wanted to change it a little bit. I realized that I wanted to be different, but I didn't know what to do. So I put an antenna on it so I could have a foxtail. Didn't have a radio, but I had an antenna with a foxtail because that's what we did at that time. My first shop was a chicken house. I put a cement floor in it, and I worked in a chicken house behind my mother's house. That was Wendy's Custom Shop, and I've been doing it ever since, and that's what I do. I love cars, and I build custom cars. The most famous custom car that I ever built was called the Jade Idol. That still exists. It's a beautiful car. It was a 1956 Mercury, and I sectioned it 4 inches. That's taking the whole body and cutting it right through the middle and welding it back together. Not chopping the top, but sectioning. Now I'm down here in the basement with all the rat rods and the various customs, whether they're painted or not, and it's great. It fits right in, of course, and the crowd reaction has been phenomenal. They just love it. Of course, everybody wants my picture, they want my autograph and everything, but I'm busy working. I can't do all that.
I brought some motorcycles down here, and I have a couple old Hondas, 69 CT90, a CB350, back in the day, 1972, Don Hallis, Autorama in the basement, 2013. The one I want to talk about is my war bike, a 1942 BSA, came out of the Battle of Normandy. It's a vintage bike, it's 100% original, and it has a lot of history to it. I was very lucky. One of my rare finds is to find this 1942. I was called from a gentleman that purchased it from the British government. It came from the Normandy invasion, which we would call D-Day. When I first got it, I kicked it over. It's a 500cc. It almost took me over the handlebars because of the compression, but it started right up because they built them to last. It has a lot of history just by looking at it. 100% original from World War II.
Owned the car since 1977, was a Minnesota drag car way back, an E-Gas champion, having a great time. Mark Rogerson here at Detroit Autorama in the basement with my 1955 Chevy Bel Air 210. Small block in it, 292, 30 over, 283, tall ram, got the big Iski in it, Pontiac rear end, 488s, and Muncie M20 in it. When I got the car in 1977, straight car, just basically had the 283 in that car, had the Muncie in it, just had a little TLC to do it. But owning it for 36 years now, just having a great time with the car. I drive the wheels off it. Yeah, I've torn the car down to the frame, redid the motor, the transmission, had to get another rear end for the car. It had the stock 10 bolt in it, but put the Pontiac in with the 488s. we're all into the traditional cars and drag racing. Many memories to remember from bringing my son home in the hospital and all that, and running the car at the old Cayuga Dragway way back in the 70s and early 80s. You know, like most of the guys down here as a kid, started off building model cars, of course, but you know, in our city, in London, it was just a hotbed. Southern Ontario has a rich history of cars, and London is right in the heartbed of 3 drag tracks. So growing up, everybody wanted a hot car. You know, the old car here is kind of known as a street sweeper in London, Ontario, and we used to do a little bit of light-to-light action, but in my old age, and she's getting old too, I just take it easy now. I'm Mark Rogerson. I'm a backyard wrench head from London, Ontario, Canada.
This presentation of the 2013 Detroit Autorama was brought to you by Pirelli Tire. Power is nothing without control. And by Eaton Detroit Spring, made in the USA in Detroit.